Now, one of the most common questions I get asked is how do we engage our learners in these online environments? And it is always tempting for me to start listing off all those active learning strategies that can be used. And I will provide those strategies in another video, but for today I wanted to take a step back and for us to think about what we can do outside that formal curriculum to connect with our learners, because I believe there are a few things to consider. We lose a lot of non-verbal communication in online teaching or in video, and therefore we tend to lose some of those humanistic elements of presence that help us to connect with our learners. Another challenge that's supported by the research out there is that in online learning, learners sometimes feel isolated. And if they feel isolated, they're less likely to engage in the content, and therefore they're less likely to succeed and progress. So how can we overcome this? Well, I think if we prioritize making connections before delivering the content, then learners may be more likely to engage, to feel more comfortable to ask questions, to reach out and ask for support if needed. And I believe this relates to all subject areas. So I sometimes hear that this is not relevant for a particular subject or a particular area, that we just have too much content to cover, that there's not enough time to think about making connections with learners. And while those time restrictions are a challenge, I would counter some of those arguments by saying, we're dealing with humans. If I deliver content to a disengaged, isolated student, then what's the purpose? It's not a good learning experience. So how can we start to develop this culture of connections? Well, generally we need to be more deliberate in our presence in online learning anyway. And this is the same when it comes to fostering connections. So we have to be more purposeful with some of our actions. So one strategy is to increase your online presence. And this doesn't mean being live or accessible all the time, but leaving your fingerprints on things. So students start to get an understanding of who you are, maybe how they can contact you. This could be in the form of a video, maybe a welcome video, an assessment explanation video, a feedback video, a weekly check-in video. You could ask students to share video responses. Video is generally a very powerful tool in online learning. In the LMS, you could post regular announcements related to your subject, a weekly topic, or something general, again just to remind learners that you were there. At the beginning of a live session, you could ask questions. Sounds simple, but it can help build a sense of community. These questions could be fun, they could be self-reflected, or they could dive a little bit deeper. And I've got a link to some example questions that I'll share. If asking questions in a large group makes you think that students probably won't respond, especially in the early stages of getting together, utilize breakout rooms. So ask a question, ask the students to go to breakout rooms, discuss in small groups, come back to the larger room and feed back. So this helps to develop a sense of community, a sense of psychological safety, that students feel comfortable to talk, to discuss, to speak up without the fear of judgment. Okay, so that's just a few strategies that I hope you'll find useful, that you can quickly and easily implement. Let me know how it goes, and if you have any other approaches, please share them. Best of luck.